Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this series we're going to be talking about Mercury in the houses. We're going to be going over Mercury in the houses, and in this episode we're going to be talking about Mercury in the 11th house, okay? Having Mercury in the 11th house. And the first thing to understand is the planet Mercury, which is the planet of mind, the planet of logic, the planet of mental energy, the planet of communication. This is how we operate in our world systematically in a logical level. So you think of all the systems, technology, how we function, how we use our brains. This is all Mercury. And then you have it in the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of society. This is where our friends are. This is where our group social activities are. This is our involvement in society at large. So social movements, humanitarian work, or just anything dealing with large groups and people. This is the 11th house, okay? And 11th house also deals with, social media as well too, because that's huge when it comes to networking in the 11th house, okay? So when you have Mercury in the 11th house, the first thing I can really say is definitely a social butterfly. And I know that term is used a lot, but especially with the air houses, okay? Mercury in the 11th house. Mercury is the planet of communication. This is how we communicate, connect, okay? And there's so much busy, fast movement going on with Mercury. So you put in the 11th house of society, of groups of people. I mean, these are people who love connecting with people. These people love making friends. They love connecting and talking and socializing with new people. They love entering new group activities and clubs and, organizations, whatever it is. Social activity is a very, very, very strong activity in these people's lives. So Mercury in 11th house people are very quick when it comes to making connections, when it comes to making friends, when it comes to speaking to others and being social. It is a very, very strong aspect in their lives. And Mercury in 11th house people can have a big following on social media, okay? This is very easy because 11th house definitely does explain your social media. Your social media represents how we network, okay? This is, again, the 11th house. The 11th house is all about networking, technology, advancement, all of this mental energy, and big forms. So we're talking about the internet and all that type of stuff. So, again, like, you have Mercury here, the communicator, running around. These is lots of connections, lots of following on social media as well too. So it's a great placement for lots of friends, lots of popularity, and lots of networking. Just definitely networking, okay? Because with friends and stuff like that, people can get confused and think it's personal and take it to the family. But this is honestly just connecting and communicating. And it could be anything from friends to associates, to co-workers, but association, that is enough, and to explain what the connections that we're talking about in this placement, including your social networks and the followings that you get there. So it's good. You can build a good audience with this placement, a strong audience, because again, you're a great networker. Now, these people are also great communicators socially when it comes to humanitarian causes, social movements, okay? Because the 11th house deals with society and being conscious socially, understanding how we're communicating on a large level, big groups. So we're talking about social movements, social activities, and we're talking about big groups like everything from like racial groups to religious groups to countries, and how our big groups are communicating with each other. So having Mercury in the 11th house, you're just great at communicating the activity that's going on society at large, okay? So again, these are people who will be very interested in, it doesn't have to be the news, but just what's going on in the world, okay? What's going on with humanity? How are we communicating each other? How are countries getting along? How are we communicating as large groups of people? What are the social issues, okay? Because the 11th house deals with groups, okay? We create cliques based off of association. So, you know, I stick with this group because of race, or I stick with this group because of age, or I stick with this group because of interests, whatever groups we create. So with Mercury here, again, it's just you're going to be able to be socially conscious and understand how society is communicating with each other, what is going on, what do we need to stop, like what are the injustices going on in social movements, or just what's going on in general. Very socially conscious people. They're definitely going to be into that, okay? Because, you know, Mercury is very nosy. Mercury is all about understanding patterns, retaining information. You know, wherever Mercury is in your houses, I'm going to say that's where you're nosy at. So these people are going to be very nosy when it comes to society and what's going on at large and how we're communicating. What are the big social news is going on? You know, what are the big updates? You know, definitely big for that. Even, you know, when they talk about like social justice media warrior, you know. Also, these people are just very smart in general, and that might sound very generic, but Mercury is a very smart sign. And then you put it in the 11th house, okay? You're putting this mental energy, okay, where you're absorbing information, communicating information. You're putting it in the house of society and technology and how we advance. And these people are very smart. They think outside the box, okay? Because they're kind of, like I said before, they're very socially conscious and they can see the bigger picture, okay? But still very logical, okay? You know, Mercury is still very logical, and the 11th house is still an air house. So there's a lot of logic here. So, you know, you're talking about a lot of mental energy when you're talking about Mercury in the 11th house. So these people are very quick with retaining information, very knowledgeable, very great communicators, okay? Very great at communicating innovative information, okay? Just very smart, very fast as well too, with being able to pick up information. And they can really be great speakers for a group of people, being able to communicate the ideas and the interests of a social group or movement. Perfect for this placement. Great speakers for that, because they're not only knowledgeable and conscious of society, but they're able to communicate logically what is going on. And last thing is, with Mercury in the 11th house, these people are kind of very much genius, okay? Because the 11th house is all about innovation, okay? It's we come together and we come up with our ideas, you know, to help advance society, okay? So when we're coming up with technology, or when we're coming together as groups for these social movements, all of this is to advance our society. 11th house is ruled by Aquarius. It's very futuristic. So when we're talking about this kind of like innovative, futuristic thinking for the collective house, and then you put Mercury here, okay, your personal mind, okay, these people are very innovative. They pretty much think outside the box, okay? They're not just going to think in the very basic terms. They're going to be able to absorb information, understand, you know, the subject or whatever it is, but then they're going to be able to take what it is that they've learned and then think outside the box. They're going to be able to reinvent, okay? How do we make it better? Okay, and this is the ability that you have when we're talking about Aquarius and 11th house energy, because again, you know how to see the bigger picture. Okay, you already have Mercury, that's a quick learner, but then the 11th house, where you're able to see the bigger picture, okay, and be conscious, okay, socially, of how things are happening. Okay, it's like you skip that step of just learning something, but you're able to take what you've learned and reinvent it, okay? Flip it, okay? Do something different with it. Transform the idea. And this is what makes them very genius. So Mercury in 11th house is a great placement to like pretty much explain someone who thinks outside the box, okay? And when you understand the box, that's when you're able to look outside of it. You know, while everyone else is still like trapped inside the box, you know, just thinking within, because you can see the whole thing, you can see what's outside of it. And that's what's great with 11th house people, is that they're innovative thinkers. They think outside the box, okay? So having Mercury here, your personal mind, you know, this is like, it's strong. It makes you super smart, but also a genius because you're innovative and you not only can master a study, but you can reinvent it, okay? You can advance it, all right? That's like technology. So yes, that is Mercury in the 11th house. Okay, this is a very good placement. Mercury in air houses are very good placement. It makes you super smart, super social, super communicative. But this placement is so good because it adds that extra innovative energy, okay? Thinking outside the box, you know? And a great placement for social causes, social movements, and being socially conscious in general. Very fun placement, very social, very communicative, lots of friends, lots of following. So great placement, Mercury in the 11th house. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did book a reading with me, I do astro readings as well as birth natal charts. So all you have to do is email me and we could go forward with that. And also check out my music. I have it here on YouTube and as well as Spotify and Apple. I have the link in the description box below. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.
Even if I'm playing it cool, cause we playing it cool, we playing it cool. You still acting real funny, taking me for a fool. Oh, cause you don't gotta be nice, you just gotta stay cool. You just gotta stay